Okay, this is Gregory CuDeeCakes at it again. I just found a photo for you. I love this photo. It goes so well with my new series. Jimmy Miller, the Jimmy Miller years. In like a lion and out like a lamb. Zippo check. Time for a Zippo check. Works like a charm. Okay, here we go. Take a look at this photo. Here we have Keith Richards and Jimmy Miller in the studio. Now, what does it look like Jimmy Miller is doing? Jimmy Miller was... I'm not sure what he was doing. I'm not sure what he was doing there, but look at what it says down here. There's Keith Richards on the right. No idea what Jimmy Miller was doing. Maybe they were horsing around. It says, here's a quote. "We wore Jimmy out. We wore Jimmy out. Miller and Keith Richards, Sunset Sound, LA, 1972. Now, I believe that was a quote. I could be wrong. I might be mistaken. I'm not perfect. I'm not God. Actually, my initials do spell God. G-O-D. My initials spell Gregory Orville Detling. But I'm not God up in heaven. So I could be wrong. But I believe that was a quote from Keith Richards. And I could be wrong. I believe he allegedly said, "We wore Jimmy out. He was in like a lion and out like a lamb." Okay, and here we're talking 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73. We're talking 6 years, okay? We're talking 6 years. We're talking not more than 6 years. Okay? There's Jimmy Miller. He looks quite a bit different. And there's Keith. I believe that was a pretty heavy drug period for them. I believe it was. This is when they were working on Exile on Main Street in 1972. An album that was started in 1971 for the most part. There's some songs on there that come from earlier, but they did a lot of work at 71, 72. And there's Keith. Yeah, Keith, that's your classic Keith right there. Classic Keith Richards. Working hard in the studio. And he's got the new shirt on. Got the new Rolling Stone shirt on, and there's a little bit crazy looking Jimmy Miller. I'm not sure what they were doing there. Oh, maybe that would have been his chair or something, and Keith sat down in his chair. It's an interesting photo. Maybe that was his chair. That was his producing chair, and Keith took his seat or something like that. Very interesting. Okay. Goodbye. Goodbye. That's all for this little series. We wore Jimmy out. In like a lion and out like a lamb. Miller and Keith Richards. Jimmy Miller and Keith Richards. Sunset Sound, LA, 1972. And by 1973, they had worn him out. They had worn him out. I do hope that quote is true. You'd have to check with Keith, or we'd have to document that. And he was fairly strong when he came in 68, 69. He was fairly strong, fairly lionish. By 1973, they had worn him out. So that should tell you a lot about the Stones, Mick and Keith. They wore people out. Zippo check. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody.